You can follow me on Instagram at The Free Mind. That's TheFreemind at The Free Mind. So, yeah, holla at me.
Social media on Instagram is NayemBJ. Twitter is NayemBJustine.
Okay. Well, the conversation does not stop here. This is just an episode. But it has to happen after this episode goes off. So what are you going to do the next time you see or hear something you know will change a kid's life forever? Don't go nowhere. We're right here on Courtney's Corner.
What's up, y'all? It's The Free Mind. I'm about to perform a song called This Feeling. Check it out. It's dope. Yeah. It's free. This feeling is real. This feeling.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma.
What's going on, people? Head to Head with Brian Parker. We are broadcasting live on Facebook as well as YouTube and Roku. So welcome. Guess what? It's a great day. It is a beautiful day, and we're going to do this together. So this live feed of Head to Head is brought to you by... that's right. I'm waiting for it to be brought by. If you are a business, if you have a business, if you have a service, if you have an event, something that you would like to advertise to all of the Facebook, Roku, and YouTube viewers, please send us a message, let us know, and we will advertise your particular service. Thanks for joining us this morning. I wanted to make an announcement, but honestly, I think somebody else can do it a little bit better than me. So check this out.
You're fired. 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 Let's go.
Hello, Mr. Trump. It's an honor to meet you. I was wondering what you would say to President Obama.
You're fired. So bad.
I have more.
Go ahead, Darryl. Go ahead.
You're fired. But so that's right. We'll fire Hillary. Hillary, you're fired. Believe me.
40 years they've been trying. You couldn't fire somebody if they were horrible, doing a terrible job for the veterans. Robbing, stealing, hurting people, you couldn't do anything. It's called the Veterans Accountability Act. And now you can say, you're fired.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Hillary, you're fired.
Donald, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You, sir, you're fired. Get your ass out the White House. Now listen, I know we should definitely be restrained and we should be bigger and better and all that crap. Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, but for today, not for today. That ain't gonna happen. Because for a lot of us, this has been a 4-year nightmare. And guys, the nightmare is somewhat over. And hopefully, this is of something for a lot of us that did not think the last. Now, there are 48% of those that voted that wanted to keep things exactly like they were. And that is still very scary to me. It's still very scary to me that it's one thing when you vote somebody in because they don't have a record. You don't know what they're going to do. Or they make a lot of promises about a lot of things. And you'd rather give that a try because every other politician tells you all these things. And, we know that politicians don't always keep their promises, that we say they lie. Honestly, it's not always that they lie. They do lie. A lot of times is that they're being very aspirational. What they really mean to say is that I would like to do this, and if we can get the House and the Senate to agree to it without them coming back and fighting for their special interest and things like that, then it can get done. But if you never noticed, there's 435 members in the House of Rep. There's 100 senators. Unless there's a tie in the Senate, nobody from the White House gets to break a tie. So they don't have a vote. They can push an agenda and a policy, but at the end of the day, we still need our reps in Congress to run in line with them. Why am I saying all this to y'all? Because just having Biden Harris in the White House is a big step, but it doesn't mean a whole lot if policy aren't going to. Now, why does that matter? Right now, we have a dead Senate race. Senate race is not over, and it will not be over in January. For the first time in a while, we have an opportunity to get 2 senators in from the state of Georgia. How about that, Georgia? How about Keisha? How about John Lewis? How about that? Getting folks turning out, energized to vote down there. You go ahead, Georgia. See you. But Georgia, we're gonna have to do it one more again. It ain't over. Let's do it one more again, Georgia. I know y'all got it in you. And if anybody else that can hear this has the ability to donate to the candidates down in Georgia to take over this Senate, to kick Perdue and Loeffler out, got to do that right now. It is 48-48. Picking up those 2 seats alone puts the Senate in play at 50. And the greatest thing, that anytime Mitch McConnell, and then Mitch McConnell won't be a majority leader because we'll have the White House. So now Chuck Schumer, yes, would be the expected majority leader unless there's a challenge, and it could be, and in some ways, in my mind, it should be. Be somebody a little bit more progressive. Either way, when there is a tie, and sometimes there won't. Mitt Romney might cross over sometimes. Susan Collins might cross over sometimes. Lisa Murkowski might cross over sometimes. That could happen. But even if not, do you know who the president of the Senate is? Kamala Harris. All right, she ain't win president, she's vice president. But in the Senate, president. Meaning that she gets to break all time. So all we need are 2 senators, Georgia. Don't think Cal Cunningham is going to pull it out in North Carolina, even though that hasn't been called at this point. And Alaska hasn't been called either at this point. So not really counting on those 2. That could definitely give GOP 50, and we'd have 48. But if the 2 in Georgia in play in January end up blue, then it's 50-50. Okay? So that's where Kamala Harris's vote to break ties will come into play and be able to get a lot of things through. So the fight isn't over, y'all. There's a lot more to do. Yes, we need to go ahead and get our celebrate on, but you know what? 4 years is a long time to have to go through the same nightmare every single time. So let's sit there and start this new administration with a solid 4 years, be able to prove that they can do a lot of those things that they said they want to do if we give them the opportunity to do it. Now, listen, let's not be mistaken. If Mitch McConnell is the majority leader of the Senate, half of the things that Joe Biden wants to do isn't, I'm going to say more than half, probably not most at all. This was the same guy that sat there and said on day one that he was going to try to make Barack Obama a one-term president. And that didn't work out so good. But what he has been able to do is put in a whole lot of judges, a lot of them unqualified, a lot of them extremists, and they're in lifelong positions. He has done a whole lot to undermine everything. So we don't want to give him the opportunity to drive his agenda, even if it means nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to get done. We need stimulus relief. We still need that from this virus. They don't want to do that. They think that giving people $600 extra in unemployment incentivizes them to not work. When if it does, it's probably because some of those jobs are not safe for people to work. But if those jobs offer people the work and they don't go, they don't get their unemployment. It's funny how all those people in Washington that make millions and millions of dollars gripe when the rest of us are on the floor looking for $600 extra a week. As if that's the. It's kind of funny how they look at it that way. And they're not looking at it that way because of you guys. They're looking at it that way because of their corporate people. Their corporate people need us to get back to work. But head down and keep that hand on that broom. That's what they want us to do. And there's got to be more to it than that, y'all. We need to be safe. We need to have people that are serious about the coronavirus, about getting the right kinds of vaccines out, being transparent with us, making sure that we can trust that science is being followed, that we're not on some kind of political timetable and that, 240 people are dead, we still got another 340 million to play around with, as if we're just a bunch of chips on the poker table. We need people to sit there and look at the future, look at our kids' futures, not just sitting there trying to feed public interest. And I'm gonna be straight up with y'all. Joe Biden wasn't my first choice. He was just better than the one that was in there. What's gonna take is for us to consistently keep pushing and holding administrations accountable to move them in the direction that we need to go. And that's what it's about. They need to understand that they work for us. For the longest, they disregard us because they think we'll only show up when they scare the hell out of us. And honestly, it's true. Why did we have such a record amount of people voting this year? Because they thought Hillary was going to win the last time, and then the nightmare happened. So they've been scared to death for the last 4 years, and their fear drove them out to vote and make this the highest recorded election history. Joe Biden won over 70 million votes. He beat Trump and is still beating Trump by over 4 million popular votes. Guys, I'm going to say this too. That the fact that he's been winning for the last couple of days by 4 million votes and we were still just kind of biting our nails to see who won is ridiculous. I am still going to keep advocating every single day to get rid of this electoral college that favors land over people. It makes no sense. If we want to vote for our governor, popular vote wins. If we want to vote for a mayor, popular vote wins. And we don't get that in this election, in these elections for president. And that's why a lot of times people feel like they vote don't. I mean, if the popular vote was all we needed, Biden would have won 3 days ago. You look at the number of people that voted versus who has the majority of the vote by percentage, and that person will win. Yet we still have to sit there and go, well, this state is red because they've got this amount of land, and that equates to this amount of votes. Even though their populations may not be as big as, say, New York City, where you have a state with 19 million people, but 9 to 10 million of those people live in New York City, where the rest of the state carries about 9 million people. But one densely populated region can be overrepresented, and then the other ones dilute that. That makes no sense. And lastly, guys, you know what they're really counting on? They're counting on us to now go back to what we're doing, get distracted with everyday life, get distracted with all the things it means, you know, whether we're working, whether, you know, kids, our spouse, our jobs, all those kind of things. I want us to get distracted. I want us to see what's going on. Gotta stay plugged in. Don't take the plug out now, please. I applaud everybody that took time to vote mail-in ballot or to brave it out and go to the polls. Did you see how easy it was? Did you see how you taking the time to do that actually can different? Change can happen one vote at a time. But don't take your vote for granted. That's what they want you to do. They want you to feel marginalized. They want you to feel disenfranchised. They want you to. Don't let them do it to us anymore. I don't care if it's city council, mayor, state senate, state rep, governor, judges. Guys, you got to vote. Don't just vote for all Democrat either. Don't do those straight down party tickets. That's what I'm telling you. You know why? Because it's like in a sheep, and you just go check, 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 check. Because all Democrats ain't good. All Republicans ain't bad. There's sometimes I actually agree more with the Republicans because they may not be fringe. They may be more what we call a moderate. And there's a lot of overlay when it comes to a moderate Republican and a conservative Democrat. It really is. Sometimes even a progressive. Some of their views. Or simply some of their record. And this is why you have to stay plugged in. Don't just go by what people say. Judge them by what they do. So Joe Biden gets in the White House and he pulls a 180 and he don't do half of the stuff or even attempt to do half of the stuff, and you know we're pushing and he's resisting, then in 4 years need to go. We need to just keep letting them know though that if you do not do your job, you cannot keep it. And for the longest, the system has rewarded people that do not do, and that makes no sense. Your job doesn't reward you when you don't do your job replaces you when you don't. I would encourage us to at least start to do the same. and they are not doing their job. So y'all celebrate. I'm lighting this baby up. Basically, you do your job to hold them accountable. Don't let them take it away from you. And y'all remember, actually has 4 years. This ain't over, y'all. If anything, this has sent a signal to the other side that now it's on and popping. And if you believe that getting rid of Trump means getting rid of extremists, I need to remind you that now we have QAnon disciples believing that there is a strong, deep-rooted demon pedophiles around eating children. They really believe. That's the sad part. So anybody tell me I got a bridge Brooklyn? It is real. So this doesn't end on January the 20th when we finally get to say goodbye to Donald Trump. This is just the beginning of the extremism, racism, white supremacy. It's still going to be there. Trump was simply the match. Torch is burning. Not lose sight of that. Don't pay so much attention, but lit the fire. I do want y'all to realize that this is just the beginning. Keep fighting. Keep the faith. Thanks for watching. And if you would like to sponsor any of our segments, please reach out to us at theparkermedia@gmail.com. If you're a content creator and you would like to air your show, your segments on our Roku, please also let us know at theparkermedia.com. Brian Parker with Head to Head. Guys soon. And as always, prayer damn.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a.
I need to allow myself to go into that bubble.
Right.
Because you need to regroup, you need to replenish, you need to have that come to Jesus moment, or whatever you want to call it, to get your head back on straight.
Also kind of find your reasons, your reasons why. You know what I'm saying?
Because I would keep pushing through it a lot of times, and then I'd get on the other side and I'd be exhausted.
Yeah.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I didn't give myself that moment to regroup. I mean, when this pandemic first started, I hit the ground running with the Coca Brown collection and Coca's Cravables. And I